prejudice, humiliation and harassment. For transgender people, daily life can indeed be harrowing, from public spaces and the workplace to prison. Earlier this week, lawyers for human rights appeared in the Western Cape High Court on behalf of Jade September. September is a transgender woman serving a 15-year sentence in a male prison, allegedly being harassed for expressing her gender identity. September is seeking relief for the violation of her rights to equality and human dignity. She also wants to be able to express her gender freely. Reporter Nosipho Mncube spoke to a transgender woman about her challenges.
32-year-old Sia Hlongwa knows the difficulties of living as a transgender female. While homeless, she was raped by a mutual friend who offered her shelter.
He took advantage of me, he demanded sex. I said no, and he forced himself on me. It became very ugly. He locked me in. He left me in the room for a long time until when he did open the following day, when he did let me out, I just told him that I'd be taking a walk. And all I did was just go straight to the police station.
Iranti, an organization for the LGBT community, assisted in accommodating her at a women's shelter. But that too was short-lived, all because of her gender identity.
Within a week, I was told that the staff at the shelter were not comfortable with me as a trans woman being in the presence of other women because I would be making advances at them. Well, in their eyes, I would be making advances at them.
Another hurdle, finding employment. Psychologist Elliot Kutza, who came out as a transgender man this year, attributes this to transphobia.
Let's say, for example, a trans person comes out at work as trans, they start to transition, and there's great confusion about which bathrooms they should use. And in that confusion, often there's a couple of ways that colleagues can make life uncomfortable for people.
Like Jade, Sia's ID still doesn't reflect her correct gender, even though the Alteration of Sex Description Act allows her to.
It's not a very accessible process, and it leads to a lot of transgender people in South Africa never having an opportunity to exercise their rights in terms of that act and to make use of that process, which actually can alleviate a lot of the discrimination.
The lawyers for human rights say, in Jade's case, small changes could go a long way.
We are essentially asking for reasonable accommodation for trans people in prison. So how do you do that? Small ways, but very significant ways. Things like address the trans person by the pronoun of their choice. So say she and her when it comes to Jade, even though she's in a men's prison.
Jade's case was heard on Tuesday and judgment has been reserved. Nosipho Mncube, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Power utility